Is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mando Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru?
Hey, Lone!
Hifumi Yamada?
Well, be okay.
Celestia
Ludenberg! You bastard.
Or maybe Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice!
Mukuro died from the wounds she had all over her body. Wasn't there someone else who suffered the same sort of injury? Only one person.
Who is this someone else?
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Lone. I'm glad you're here, though.
Was it Sayak Junko Enoshima? No, that's wrong.
Junko. Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her?
Junko, yeah.
She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
Then the similarities match? Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
Then it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then...
Yeah. Fake nails.
What does it all mean?
Oh, Hero's head is gonna explode.
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the Mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be. Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
I guess it. Oh, so because they're hurting me when the headphones. Okie dokie. Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro? But can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way Mukuro Ikusaba is still alive.
The body we found in the garden.
Let's have a quick look at the clues.
It wasn't Mukuro.
Mukuro's fatal injury, Monokuma fell,
Then
Mukuro
she's still
Ikusaba's
alive?
profile. A fatal injury, there you go. Bronze Headmaster, Mukuro did not have a single scar or wound when she came to Hope Peak Academy. In addition to her physical blah blah blah. Okay.
That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the Mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
For that to be true, then that could have been her body we found in the garden. Is that really possible?
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
No, that's wrong.
Because Kyoko checked the body And the profile states her
No. The
what do
body
you call
we
it?
found in the garden was Mukuro.
Measurements or whatever.
That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Someone's made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be. It was me. I did it.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Oh snap.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
You figured me out, John.
But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
We did. Now that you mention it. I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say, she was gone. I did check absolutely, and I can see for
She
sure.
was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Absolutely not. Huh?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
Hell to the no.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked that she was dead, I'm sure of it. But still, she were alive somehow. Could it be that Junko's not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? Maybe she used some trick. Replaced?
Now I understand. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switch places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
True.
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain they could have switched. They switched after death? No. They switched at the moment of death? No. They switched at the beginning. It must be it. You can't switch after death because, that, you know, that'll definitely kill you.
I got it! The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met is actually Mukuro all along?
Then we'd already met her?
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko,
And they wouldn't have known any different.
and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
So he still refuses to admit it, but he can try to deceive us all he wants, it doesn't matter. Because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity not just once but twice. The first time was during our last investigation. Oh yeah, he cut the DVD, didn't he?
I got it! While
By
I was in the
accident.
AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster.
It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD player itself had apparently turned off. Which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened? Oopsie, it looks like it broke, out of service. What, it just happened, it just happened to break just now? Now then, when doesn't matter, failure can strike anywhere, anytime. That's what failure is, right?
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
No, it wasn't a fluke. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I've got to reveal that.
luck next time. Better luck next time. Better luck next time. Are you sure about this?
Yep.
You're getting all riled up. That's impossible. This should prove it.
And all the photos, her face is hidden.
The video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Uh-oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we got. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
Envy, you need to become a detective.
What's so unusual about them?
The unusual circumstance common to all these pictures. No, not at all. You're very observant. The unusual circumstances, the ones who got the photos, no. And it's Junko's face, because it's not, it doesn't appear in any of them. Well, Mukuro's face does.
The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, in this photo, you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko, which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Oh, snap.
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she died. And the real Junko.
Fluffy, be careful. She might fall off, Fluffy, but be careful.
Is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the Mastermind have been exposed.
No, wait! Hold on!
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't
Xanadu?
have anywhere
No
left
clue.
to run.
Can someone Google that? I have no idea what it's meant to be.
I'll prove everything right now.
Okay, Makoto. Oh, what was identity the ultimate fashionista who I met in the main hall? She got stabbed. Keep Mukuro's body, she kept her in the freezer. Mastermind attacked me with something, what was it? It was a knife? Oh, sugar. What did the Mastermind do with the mask after they took it off? Edward, is it that one? Oh yeah, they exploded, didn't they? Benjamin in the garden was like that. It's not that one, is it?
No.
Do you know which one it was? Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, I've skipped some. Oh, damn. When the Mastermind attacked me, who was it that stopped them?
Yeah.
Sugar. Is it that one? Or is it that one? I think it was that one, and that was that one.
That face there.
Yeah. Mhm. There we go.
Here's exactly what happened.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, this music's so good.
We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko and Oshima.
What's the matter, Fluff?
Right after we all
Come here.
arrived.
You gonna help me solve the mystery? Yeah? You gonna be my partner? No, little baby. Be a good girl, okay?
But that wasn't the real Junko.
Do do do. Ba da ba da da.
The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place, and that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusawa. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the Mastermind, Junko and Oshima. Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a war. Until Junko decided to put her body to use.
What's the matter, baby? Come here, I'll give you love.
Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who proved to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place.
Suspicious.
Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any rope she needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder, and the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind. The one controlling Monokuma. The real Junko and Oshima! That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
What? Are you broken again?
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Come on! It's time you finally revealed yourself!
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding?
Give it up, Junko. The game's over.
Over?
Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? Wrong! There's still plenty more to go!
We have been waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear.
Oh god.
If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world. We've even drawn up the deed already. We will grant you honor, status, and some of our home cooking.
Good
Have
lord,
you
what's
made
going
your
on here?
choice? Will you serve under us?
Kiss my ass.
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you. It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
This is the Mastermind? She's the real Junko Nishima. Junko Nishima.
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free. Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory. Or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Face.
Huh? What about my face? What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
Chihuahuas aren't cute in my opinion.
I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen you.
No, I do remember seeing it. I'm sure I've seen her too somewhere. It was definitely before I got to the school. Did we see it before we were even...
I got it! That's right! It was before I ever
Yeah,
came
she
to
was
the
a model,
school.
wasn't she?
I remember seeing a magazine cover. And you were on it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
So I was right. Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began...
I've seen her on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like that doesn't quite match up to reality. Huh? Are you talking about my cover photos and junk? Well, of course, those are totally photoshopped. Photoshopped? Yeah, you know, edited to hell and back with like computers and junk. Oh, so they aren't real.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
That explains why she didn't quite seem the same. Because she was a different person all along.
I'm me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist. Not even if they're twins.
Twins!
Oh.
I know.
Oh, dang.
Such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it. So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship.
Uh-huh.
The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute. That was...
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima! And together, we were the Despair Sisters, aka the Ultimate Despair!
Christ. She cray-cray.
Whoa! She's a totally different person now.
Like I said, I get bored easy as hell. I even get fucking bored with myself. But if you're twins, why do you have different last names? Oh, that again? You have any idea how many times people ask me that shit? Maybe it's new to your dumb ass, but it bores me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over? Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
What a bitch.
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. As if!
Well, I suppose I'd better explain. For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called Mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, but after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family.
Wow.
Leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment.
That's just mean.
So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way. Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the 3 atrocities. Atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated. It was a lost cause. She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra unworthy of lines. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have which is precisely why I killed her. To meet everyone's expectations.
God, I keep accidentally pressing too soon.
That can't be your only reason, can it?
Well, no, of course not. I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know? If I planned everything out and knew just what was gonna happen, that'd be so boring. So, I changed things just a bit and decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal, just as I suspected. When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anybody else.
This wasn't supposed to. Why me?
So, you figured it out? Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance. But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
How can you talk like that? You sacrificed your own sister. How does that not even bother you?
What? I sacrificed her? That's what's got you so hot under the collar? Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary. We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations. Nope, I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all. When I was born, I cried tears of total despair. So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill. We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything. We've always been filled with despair. So when we do something, we go all the way and live without regret.
So you just murdered your own sister and didn't think anything of it?
That's not true at all. We were twins. How could I not be sad? That's why it gets me so excited. Killing my precious sister with my own 2 hands. That act is filled with so much despair. You can't help but put a super in front of it. It's like super, 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 super despair. No, more than that. Super, 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 super despair. It just feels so good.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Tell me about it.
And my sister too.
She got some
In that moment of
issues.
death, I think she must have felt that despair. After all, to be murdered by your own sister, and only as an example to someone else. She must have died feeling such excruciating hopelessness. I'm so jealous of her. Super jealous.
I knew you couldn't be just some ordinary person. You're some kind of abnormality.
Just putting it mildly.
Turning your own despair into some kind of fetish. Abnormality doesn't even begin to describe it.
Like, Genocide Jill is crazy for sure, but this is a whole nother level of nuts.
Yep, and it is crazy.
You're saying I don't compare to some lowly beast that can only kill the weak, right? So I'm hopelessly attractive, hopelessly brilliant, hopelessly athletic. I'm the hopelessly perfect ultimate human.
No, I don't think there's anything perfect about anything you just said.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, Master's way more perfect.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
on top of everything else, he's got that noble blood.
Ugh.
Don't you mean had that noble blood?
What did you just say? What do you mean by that?
You still haven't figured that part out yet? Man, you guys are so slow! You haven't even solved all the mysteries, and yet here you are, yapping away!
Are you talking about our memories?
You've already solved this mystery, right? I'm the killer! So how about the next one? Maybe you should solve the riddle of your missing memories. Then you can start gloating!
Damn straight! That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to solve all these mysteries, and then we'll have our victory!
Hell yeah.
I can't wait!
All right, then let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you steal from us?
When the group pictures were taken, and those interviews, it must mean... I got it! It must have something to do with our entrance exams.
No fair! At least give us a hint!
Your brains are like sponges, all drippy and leaky. I already gave you a hint before. All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things.
Thinking back to what Monokuma's told us, the memories that were stolen from us and what they must be related to. Motives.
I got it! You're talking about the motives you provided to try and get us to kill each other, right?
So you do remember after all. Well, I would hope you wouldn't forget something so important. It was stupid of me to even ask. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my bad manners. So then, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Did you notice that each motive I presented you had a specific theme to it?
Theme?
Yep, you got it. So that's my question to you all. When Sayaka was murdered, what was the theme of the motive I presented?
The theme for the motive Monokuma gave us for the first murder. Monokuma gave us DVDs. On my DVD was footage of my family. On Sayaka's was her and her friends. They had a dream they all shared. So for the first murder, the motive we were given was international relations, love triangles, or human connections. It's not love triangles, and it's not international relations. It's gotta be the human connections.
I got it! The driving force behind the motive you presented us with at that point was human connections.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Remember those DVDs I gave you guys? Each video showed the total destruction of your most important relationships. For example, your family. For example, your friends. I ruined all those relationships and showed you the results. It was to motivate your desire to escape and kickstart your urge to kill. But still, what a cruel thing to do.
You're the one that did it!
Yes, well, I'm perfectly happy to accept your disapproval.
Okay! Time for the next question!
Oh god. Her personalities give me whiplash.
So, what was the theme for the second motive?
For the second murder, the motive's theme was... That's when I got those weird envelopes from Monokuma. May mentioned how I used to wet the bed. So the theme that time was... The meaning of life, a strong heart, the past. Definitely the past.
I got it! It was our past, right?
Yay! Makoto got it right again! That time, the theme was... Embarrassing memories and secrets! Yeah! And the whole reason Mondo did what he did was to protect his secret.
So, how long do you plan on dragging this out?
Relax, relax. Okay, on to the next question. So, what was the motive for the third murder?
The theme for the third murder was... The reason Celeste turned to murder was... She wanted to buy a European castle and live there with a bunch of handsome men. So that time the motive for murder was... A new outlook, no. Greed and popularity. It was definitely greed. The money definitely swayed her.
I got it! It was money, wasn't it? Greed.
Seek and destroy! Hell yeah, you got it again! Goddamn straight it was money! Celeste killed Hifumi and Taka for a little personal gain. Her greed led to all kinds of death and destruction.
What's the point of all this? Why are you making us go through this case by case?
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Just one more to go.
It's so warm in here.
Now, can you tell me the motive behind crazy-ass Sakura's crazy-ass
Can you
death?
move it, love? Can you move it a little bit forward? The fan. I'm roasting. Well, we can fully open the window now because, you know, the traffic won't be so bad. Yeah. The motive in this case of Sakura's death was, what was it that made Sakura decide to kill herself? It had to do with Monokuma exposing Sakura's secret. So the theme of the motive in that fourth case was...
How's that?
That's fine. Betrayal.
I got it! In her case, it was betrayal.
She felt like she betrayed everybody.
Precisely. You see, once I revealed Sakura's betrayal, that led to everything that came afterwards. Anyway, it looks like you answered all of my questions correctly. How painfully delightful.
But what's the point? What meaning is there in asking those questions now?
Relationships? Secrets? Money? Betrayal? These are all pretty standard motives, right? The most normal of normal. Totally middle of the road.
But of course, those aren't the only motives that exist in this world.
I think my favourite personality of hers has got to be this one. It's absolutely hilarious.
In fact, there are as many reasons to kill as there are people on Earth.
I mean, considering she's completely twisted.
They compel humans to kill each other, bringing despair to the world. This is what we refer to as the seed of despair.
I'm loving that crown though, not gonna lie.
Seed of despair?
Just as water, air, and food promote growth in living things, the seed of despair also needs nourishment. And that nourishment is hope. Despair can grow only in the presence of hope.
It must be exhausting to be her, not gonna lie.
Two sides of the same coin, divided by a razor-thin line. Such is hope and despair.
How much longer is this stupid speech of yours? Weren't we discussing our missing memories? Why are you trying to change the subject?
If you would listen, you would see I'm not changing the subject. We are discussing your memories. What I'm trying to say is, the seed of despair is closely tied to your own memories.
How so?
You see, by taking away your memories, I gave you hope. Of course, that hope merely existed to be consumed by despair.
How could taking away someone's memories...
I didn't realise it was going to take this long. Damn.
hope?
And plus, you haven't given us any hope anyway.
Is that so? All you've been able to think about during your time here is how to escape, right? The mere fact that that's what you want proves I gave you hope.
What are you talking about?
If none of you wanted to escape this school, the killings never would have taken place.
Remove the cause of their despair.
That is why we took your memories, so that you would have the desire to leave.
The only reason we want to leave is because you took our memories. Is that what you're saying?
Correctamundo!
Which means if we did have our memories, then we wouldn't want to leave. Do I understand that right?
What? Why the hell would having our memories make us not want to leave?
A most troubling thought, isn't it? But it's not enough. I want more distress, more despair. I put so much effort into creating hope in order to feed your despair and make it grow.
Yeah. They all agreed to stay? Yeah, they did.
So, just like Crazy Eddie slashing his prices and passing the savings on to you, let me give you a hint.
Sure.
Really? Then hurry up and tell us.
Okie dokie. Like they say, seeing is believing. I'd like for you to see the outside world.
The outside
You
world?
mean the world beyond the school walls?
So something really did happen out there.
Now are you interested in what I have to say? You wanna see what's out there? Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I wanna see too. See your faces sink into despair. Now then, open sesame! Behold, the world beyond the school walls! This is the outside world you've all been so anxious to
What is the love and
claw your
choice?
way back into.
Dangerous. The world has grown so very dangerous. That's what this means.
What are you talking about? None of this makes any sense.
What am I looking at?
This is a scene from a movie or something, right?
What you just saw, all of you should recognize it.
We should recognize it? What about it should be recognized? The whole thing is insane.
That world is locked away within the memories that were taken from you. If you can't remember, please just try. Do your best to try and recall.
Better kick your brain in the ass, because it's up to that gray lump whether you live or die. I don't remember ain't a fucking excuse no more, because now it's time for the final class try!